Hey guys, welcome to this edition of Maradas in his basement, giving you select band help. Um, so I told you guys I was going to put up little video lessons of the select band music, and so I'm going to do that again because I thought that was really valuable for you guys last year. So hopefully you've got your music in front of you. This is the keyboard percussion audition, and it's 32 measures long, okay, which is actually a little shorter than last year's. But I believe there are some things about this one that make it a little bit more challenging. So I'm going to kind of walk you through some stuff, and then I'll put up a recording of the full audition etude as well. So let me walk you guys through a couple things first. So first of all, I want you to look at my music. Okay. So you can see that I have highlighted. Hopefully you can see that highlighted and marked a bunch of things in. Okay. To make this a little bit easier for me as I'm playing this, because there's quite a few notes here. So I would encourage you to make sure that you are marking your music. If you're not marking your music, you're giving up a really valuable tool, and you're just making it harder on yourself. Okay. I also have my metronome set up here. Here's my handy dandy metronome, and I've been using that a lot in my preparation of this. Okay, so those two things are first. Okay, second, it's in G major. Okay, it actually starts in the dominant key, which you don't really need to know that, but it's G major 1 sharp. So it would really be smart of you to warm up by playing some G major green or some other scale patterns, because this is Baroque music. Okay, Telemon. All right, right there. The composer is a Baroque composer from the time of Bach. So the music is very very scalular, and it does have some leaps. So it's based on piano music. So it would really be smart for you to practice some G major scales as you're getting warmed up for this. Okay, as you're picking a mallet, last year's select band music had a gliss. So I said it was really important not to use a yarn mallet because you wouldn't hear the gliss. This one does not. So you pick whatever mallet best suits you, and the instrument that you're going to audition on, and just go with it. I would pick something that's kind of articulate. So I chose some of these yarn Malatech Gordon Stout mallets. So not crazy hard, but good enough. Okay. And then what you need to do, and you saw what I wrote in, is you need to make sure that you write in some stickings. Some of this does not sit very comfortably on the keyboard because of the key that it's in. And so you need to find those places that don't sit comfortably as you're practicing it, and you need to write some of those stickings in that are efficient and work well as you're playing some of these passages. And I'll talk about those specifically, and then you're really going to have to practice those specific areas. Okay, so what I like to do is kind of walk you through some of the harder problem areas in this particular piece. So I'm going to go ahead and set my phone camera down here, okay, so you can see the marimba a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of talk to you from here. Okay, so the first problem area that I kind of found is measure 5 and measure 6. Okay, and so hopefully you're looking at your music. The beginning to the end of measure 4, in my opinion, is just not very hard. It's just a matter of learning the notes and the rhythms. Okay, but measure 5, beat 3 and 4. And measure 6 is the first time you're going to have a challenging spot. And the things that make it challenging is, first of all, you have to play the correct notes, right? And in order to do that, you really need to use a appropriate sticking. So the sticking I chose was right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right. Okay. So this pattern is, all right. One more time. Okay, and then you'll notice there's also a crescendo underneath that, so you can see that I was actually trying to crescendo that there, and hopefully I was doing a good job of that. Okay, really and truly, if you just see the G major arpeggio there, okay, G, B, D, that's going to help, but you got to make sure that you hit the right notes there. So check that out. It's measure 5 and 6. Okay, next is measure 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and 7, 8, and 9 are challenging because the patterns ascend, but it descends every measure. So there's some what can be kind of challenging leaps and a challenging melodic pattern there. So 7, 8, and 9 starts with that C sharp, and then ascends from there, right? And then it jumps back down on you, okay, all the way down to B, and then here, okay, and it ascends again, and then you've got this, and then it jumps down on you again, and then ascends again. Okay, so that pattern, when you play it in its entirety, and I did not play that well, I'm going to try it again. Let me try it one more time. So obviously, there's a little bit more work that I can be doing on that, but that's a trouble area. Okay, so make sure that you're looking at that section there. Okay, all right. Next, okay, measure 11 and 12. Okay, find that in your music. 11 and 12. Okay, you kind of have this iconic like Baroque ending. It's not the end; it's kind of like the midpoint, but you have this figure here. It sounds very Baroque, right? And the thing that you really have to do to play that well is practice the leaps and have good spatial awareness of the intervals. So you have the third, then this crazy leap of a seventh, another seventh, another seventh, a fourth. Okay, and you really got to practice that. Okay. All right, so that gets you through the first half, okay? And there's a repeat sign there, so you'll go back and you'll take that again, okay? It gets you through the first half. Now, letter A, marking letter A in your music, we change tonality. It doesn't really change key. We just change tonality. So we go from what would be called the dominant in music theory to the tonic. So now we're actually going to be centered in G rather than in D, okay? Some of this has a lot of repeated material, which is good, right? So the beginning, you have this, right? And now at A, you have this, which is up a fifth, or up a fourth. I'm sorry. Right, and it's the same exact material, just in a different tonality. Okay, couple tricky parts here in this section. Okay, measure 21 to 24. I actually think this is the hardest part of the entire the entire exercise. Measure 21, 22, 23, and the beginning of 24. Okay, and again, it's because of some of the leaps and jumps and just some of the things that don't feel real comfortable. So you've really got to be careful there. There's some leaps, the spatial awareness, and the intervals. You got to have good vision to make sure you're playing this accurately. So 21 kind of starts with this figure here. Okay, and then it jumps to this. You've got this this like root, fifth root sort of thing, right? That kind of jumps down. Okay, so you put that together. Let me try that again for you. Okay, which doesn't seem all that hard, except as soon as you finish that, you got to come right back up to here. and play the next phrase, okay? And then it repeats that same sort of idea again, but down a step, right, at 23. Right, it goes all the way down to G, all right? So you put that together and watch. Hopefully I play this well. We'll see. All right, and I missed the very last note. I'm going to try that one more time for you. All right, so that's a really challenging part of the music there, and obviously I still have some work that I need to be doing on that. Okay, after that, starting at measure 24. Okay, it is a bunch of repeated stuff in the beginning, but in the new tonality. So you just need to make sure you're consistent. You'll have to practice all that stuff again. This lick comes back, but starting a third lower than it happened before. So you just need to be careful for that, okay? A couple final things that I'm going to let you decide on, okay? There are 3 half notes in this piece. There's one at measure 13, one at measure 20, and one at measure 32, okay? They're not written as rolls, okay? I keep going back and forth. I kind of feel like they need to be played as rolls. Okay, I think it's more musically appropriate. So that's what I would do, is play them as rolls. You don't have to, but that's what I would do. Okay, I actually also think that at the end, where you have that iconic kind of Baroque ending to a piece, it deserves a rallentando of sorts. Okay, so you'll hear me do that when I do the full performance of this. Okay, so get to practicing that and have fun.